Elena Simonyenko lives in part of Kiev, which is very popular with young families. But she left her home on Thursday to try to get to the border. It was, however, too late. She spent the night with friends in an area of the city called the Right Bank, which she thought would be safer.
I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning because I hear the very horrible sound like the fireworks, but it doesn't sound like the fireworks, but it was quite long. I don't know, for a few minutes. And I look at my son, he was sleeping, and for a second, I could not understand what is going on. And then when I realized what is going on, it was just in my head. It started. And then we decided what to do with my husband. We took the emergency bag. We woke up my mom. She lives in the next apartment in the same building. We took all our stuff. It took us, I don't know, half an hour. All these days we kept our car just in front of the house. It was full of gas. Didn't go anywhere. And we just sit down in the car and try to move to the right bank of Kiev. And actually it was a horrible traffic jam, like 3 hours. We were standing with the kids inside. We didn't have any breakfast, nothing.
Where were you hoping to go when you got in the car?
We hope to go to the west. I have the friend of my father. He was waiting for us in Uzhgorod. He has the house, and he has that you can come and stay here as much as you need. Also, I had a friend in Poland who also told me that I can come and stay for a while. And as well, my company where I work, they support me, and they said that we can take you out of the border. We will come to the border and take you. But it was totally crazy situation on the road, and we were not even moving on the road. We were just still standing with the switched off engine. But we stay here all night, and we as well hide in the shelter when we hear bombing. Like now, probably you can hear or not. It's bombing in Kiev already for a few hours. And I woke up today at 4. I received a phone call from my uncle, and he told that our house destroyed in Kiev. It's house with the 6 entrances to the buildings. Just imagine. This is the house where people live. We live on Pazniki area. Pazniki is the area where you have the concentration of population of kids, the biggest in Ukraine. All families with the kids living. So the rocket, I don't know what exactly happened, but our house destroyed totally.
Elena, we
don't have home anymore.
Elena, you sent us a photograph of that. You sent it to one of our team.
That's our house.
And that's your house. It's an apartment block. It's on fire in the photograph.
Yes, it's an apartment block. Yes, that's the building where I grew up with my son as well. We live there. When my mom lives there, we have 2 apartments, but now we have no place to go.
And do you know if anybody else was in that apartment block last night, or was everybody in the bunkers?
Our neighbor, he was sleeping, and then he heard the sound, and he immediately he jumped under the car, under the bed, and he survived. And I know that few people injured, all windows blow up, and there was a fire that was taken out by the fire brigade.
Elena, it's really hard. It's really hard for us to imagine what you're going through.
What is happening in Ukraine? This is like the worst, movie we could ever even imagine and see in our life. This is not appropriate. This is impossible. This cannot be done to our kids.
Elena, I can hear your pain, and I really feel for you and for your family. Where are you now? Are you safe at the moment?
Well, we think that we are safe. We are hiding in a house on the right bank. We have here the very small shelter, but that's enough at least to sit there, at least in case of the attack from air again. We hope we're safe.
Elena, your child is just 6 years old.
Yes,
How's your child getting on?
he's a brave boy. He survived post-COVID syndrome last year, and he is kind of mature after that situation because he was in a very difficult situation, and now again difficult situation with this, and that's a very bad. He's trying to be okay. First, we didn't tell him. We told him that we're going for a trip, but then obviously when he heard all the planes and he see the people and he heard from the news from the car that we switch on, for 5 minutes here, he said, "You don't think that I don't understand anything? I understand everything."
And he's 6.
Yes, and you know exactly what he said. He said yesterday, before we went to sleep, because we could sleep, that was quiet, and we said, okay, we need to sleep at least for a few hours because we don't know how the night will be. And we told him this, and he's a very active boy, but he said, okay, yes, we will go sleep. And he said, I never sleep in this house before. I said, there is the saying in Ukraine that if you sleep in the first house for the first time, you should make a wish. And he told his wish. You know what was that? He said that he wants the war to stop, and he wants for the president of Russia to become a good person. And this is my son. He's 6 and he is saying this himself. Just imagine.
Elena, it's really hard for us to imagine, and thank you so much for sharing this with us. I can't. It's very hard to understand just how upsetting this is, but thank you for telling us about it. Can I ask you?
Yes.
Can I ask you how your mum is? This is the apartment that she's lived in her whole life, and it was destroyed last night.
Well, I don't know how it's going to be because this is exactly the place where she lived all her life. And she's a teacher and was the teacher, and now she's retired, and her salary is affordable only, to pay the electricity fee and stuff, and that's it. We don't know where to go after that.
Elena, I know that this only happened to you last night, but I just wonder, what are your thoughts now on what you do next? What decisions are you making today?
First of all, I'm staying here for this day when they're trying to get Kiev. So we will stay in this shelter. We're monitoring the traffic jams and the situation, trying to talk to our friends when it's reception available, and talking to them if we can gather together and move with the column at least to the west of Ukraine. So as I said, I have few people there to stay there. Probably I will move, if that's possible, for a month or two with my family and, of course, mom to Poland, where my company has the office, and they're ready to support us, and they wait us there. But we cannot get there right now.
Elena Sumyenko talking to me on Friday. Now, many of you were very moved by Elena's story. Sarah says, the situation is terrible. Thank you for giving this woman a voice. And Kay says, so distressing listening to this brave woman speaking about the war and its real life impact. Much love to her, her family and everyone in Ukraine.